Huh? Great sun. But you don't have any sunblock lotions. That's the one complaint. There's no shade. And what did they eat for 40 years? The famous IHOP. Pancakes. And what else? 2 eggs every morning. Yeah, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Same IHOP. How can you endure if you go to IHOP for 7 days a week? Even though it's very cheap and they have now what? $2.99 breakfast? No, that's a McDonald's. See, that was their complaint. And the water. They didn't have any water, right? Fresh water, so they complained. They complained directly to Moses, which means they complained to God. And then Moses interceded to God, hey, I don't want to lead these stiff-necked people. Because they don't listen to you. They don't listen to me. So what do I supposed to do? And then God allowed people to drink. From where? From the rock. So God commanded Moses to just speak to the rock. And what did Moses do? Rock! Give me the water! He disgraced God's love. That's why he was excluded from entering into the promised land. Just the one action caused him not to come into the promised land. Because he was the representative of God in front of all people. He misbehaved. That's what happened in the Bible, right? So Paul said, we are new creatures now. Old has gone, new has come, because we all believe Jesus Christ. So starting point is ours all same. But how many of us are going to finish well? There is no guarantee. That's what the first warning he gives us. And go down to verse 8. Why did they, rebel against God? The sexual immorality. Verse 8. Some of them did, causing 23,000 of them to die in one day. This example was Balaam, who was hired by the king Balak. Balaam was the prophet. And Balak just gave Balaam money to curse Israelites who coming through the land. And then what happened? As we all know, what happened? The Balaam couldn't curse Israelites. Why? God forbid it. God didn't permit him to curse his own children, even 3 times. But Balak's condition is what? I'm going to make you rich man, so please curse Israelites who are coming through my land. But he couldn't. But later anyway, what did Balaam do to his own children, his people? Sexual immorality. So as a result of that, 23,000 people were killed as a punishment. See, it was totally by God's grace. God delivered his own children out of Egypt and brought them into wilderness to prepare them and equip them for them to enter into the promised land. But as we all know, only 2 people entered into the promised land. That was the first warning. So when we start as a Christian, it was totally by God's grace. We don't deserve anything. But by His love and by His grace, we are saved. Now, this is the beginning that we have to cleanse ourselves, stay away from sins, to live according to what it says in the Bible. That's what we call, Christian term, sanctification. Try to live as a holy life. Try to live what God wants me to do. That's what we're supposed to do. That's why Paul says later chapter, you always examine yourself, whether you are in the faith or not. So because of you, cause them another believer to stumble, you are not reasonable Christians. Even though we have freedom, it is all ours. That's the next point. Verse 12, if you think you are standing strong, be careful not to fall. We always humble ourselves. We always watch what the Spirit wants to do through my life. So we ask Spirit to come and lead us and guide us before what we do, before what we say. But how many times do we forget about that? See? The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. See, another version says, what unbelievers experience. It's all same old same. Even though you became Christians, there is always temptations out there. So how can you overcome and how can you win the situations? So we need to always humble ourselves before God. Well, now I become a strong Christian, so Satan cannot attack me. I can overcome that temptations. Let's fight for it. That's a pride, Bible says that. Because we have sinful nature. Our flesh desires sin. See, let's turn to Romans chapter 7. Romans chapter 7, starting from verse 18. Okay, I'm going to read it for you slowly. I know that nothing good lives in me, that is in my sinful nature. I want to do what is right, but I can't. I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway. So notice the word anyway. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you're believers or non-believers. Anyway you do it. Why? Sinful nature. Don't forget. Okay? But if I do what I don't want to do, I'm not really the one doing wrong. It is sin living in me that does it. That's what Apostle Paul find out. He struggled a lot. I'm the one who met Christ personally on the way to the road of Damascus. But I'm still doing what I don't want to do. Why? He found that out. Sin lives in me. So 21, I have discovered this principle of life, that when I want